All right. Welcome to video number 6. Oh man, I've lost track. We're on video number 6 of building a vacuum tube guitar amplifier from design to plug your guitar into it and rock out, hopefully. And today we're going to do a short video on a series heater. Some of you guys might be familiar with working on amplifiers. You probably know about a 6.3 volt heater and maybe some other weird ones out there, but mostly a 6.3 provided by a 6.3 volt transformer is what most people are used to. We are not doing that. We are doing a series heater. So we're not concerned with what the voltage is so much as the current. So every one of our tubes, the PY500, the 25 CU6 or 25, um, what's the other name for it? Well, I got to look it up again because I already forgot. 25 BQ6 GT. Sorry about that. Or the 12AX7. These all have different voltages, but they're all 300 milliamp current draw. And you find that on usually at the top of their characteristic sheets. See, our PY500 is 42 volts at 300 milliamps. Here we have 25 volts at 300 milliamps. And of course, this is going to be 6.3 volts at 300 milliamps for the 12AX7. I'm really considering using the Russian substitute for that, just because 12AX7s have become so expensive lately. But we'll get into that. Anyways, so what we need to do, since they're in 300 milliamps, we can just connect them right in series, right to one another. And the problem is we have 120 volts. So we need to figure out how many volts our heaters need, and then we have to drop that voltage to that by using this resistor. So we got to figure out what this resistor is. Now, one structural thing I will mention is the placement of this resistor is critical. This line comes in here, is going to feed into the PY500. It's going to be your first heater that sees voltage. Coming out of the PY500, then you're going to have the resistor. And that resistor is going to go to this tube right here, the 25 CU6. And then that 25 is going to be hooked up to the 12AX7. If you do not do it exactly like this is shown here, your series heater here is going to make a lot of noise. It is going to not be pleasant. And when you plug your, maybe turned up all the way, you might not hear it, but it's going to drown out any quieter sounds you want to make. It's not a good noise. So always follow this plan here. Now let's get into figuring out this resistor. All right, so if I pull out my handy dandy calculator, I already did it just once. What you do is you add up all the voltages to find out your total volts you need. So we have 6.3 for the 12AX7, 42 volts for the PY500, and 25 volts for the 6BQ6GT or 25CU6. So let's add those up. 25 plus 42 plus 6.3. And that gives us 73.3. So we need to know, because we have 120 volts coming in from our transformer, we need to know how many volts we got to lose. So if you just turn that negative and add 120 volts, we need to lose 46.7 volts. All right. Once again, all these are going to be in the description, but I really like this calculator. So let's go into this calculator, pause and get here if you need to. And let's look. We had 46.7 volts, 300 milliamperes. So go ahead and change that to milliamperes, or you can just put a point in front of the 3, but I like to. We need to know how to get rid of 46.7 volts, and we do it like this. Boom. The great thing about this calculator is it tells us right away what the watts are. So the closest to 155 ohm is going to be 150 ohms. And we're probably going to want that at about 20 watts. Give this some safe operating room. So 150 ohms at 20 watts is what this resistor is going to be. And that is how that is done. If you have any questions, please let me know. We're getting really close to finishing this out. I'm going to go ahead and fill in all the pin values, and then we'll know what all the sockets are numbered. And then I'll do a video. Our last design video is going to be on how to figure out the input or the grid resistor. But hopefully you got out of this what you needed to, and hopefully you have a strong understanding of how we can do series heaters. If we didn't do this, we'd have to buy another transformer, and we wouldn't be able to use these tubes. We'd have to supply a 6.3 volt for this. We'd have to buy a 42 volt transformer for this, and we'd have to get a 25 volt transformer for this. And that would increase our costs, and it would just be that wouldn't be practical. So that's why we're using series heater. The only downside to our series heater, if one of these filaments from these tubes, if one of them goes bad, all of them are out. So that's the only downside. But really, it eliminates a transformer, and it can make the running of this a lot cheaper. And if you place this resistor right, it can be decently quiet. But let me know questions, comments, concerns. Hate, I take it all. All right, and I'll see you on video 7. Have a great day.